Welcome to Loving Beyond the I Do podcast. This power couple is building stronger marriages one day at a time. Talking about real issues on love, relationships, and marriage longevity. Let's break down the barriers and engage in healthy conversation with your hosts, Jason and Tina Marie. Take a seat and buckle up because things are about to get real.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Welcome back, everyone. And guess what? This episode, Jason decided he wants to show us on camera. So I'm going to need a makeup artist now that he wants to put us on video.
No, that's okay, baby. You fine. Don't worry about it.
And then you guys get to see how silly we look, right? Before you can just imagine it's like that old time.
we were just doing whatever we wanted
right.
in the audio.
It's
but
like
now,
that old time TV when they would show them sitting by the radio and they're listening and picturing the whole thing in their mind. Right now, you guys get to see us.
Yeah. So welcome to the show. We are broadcasting on YouTube as well as the podcast. So if you are on YouTube, please subscribe, like, and comment. If you're listening on the podcast, also subscribe and leave us a comment. All right, Tina, let's see.
That's me. No,
That's
it's
me.
Tina Marie.
Tina Marie.
And so usually, guys, I'm looking at him and he's looking at me across the table from each other. But since we're talking to you today, we have to look at you, which is something different for me.
Yes.
So I'm going to have to look at you, Jason, through the camera.
Yeah, look at me through a different lens.
Let me see if my perspective changes.
Probably not. All right, let's go ahead and get into this.
Okay, so what are we going to talk about this week?
Well, first of all, this is episode number 52
52.
of Loving Beyond the I Do podcast.
With your hosts,
Jason and Tina Marie.
That's me.
All right, so what are we going to get into today, baby?
I don't know. Let's talk about what we were talking about before, kind of like picking our mates, right?
Yes.
So I say that to say, previously on podcasts, we talked about don't settle.
Right.
Don't settle. You know, life is too short. You need to be happy. And the whole point in that is that when we settle, we're not doing ourselves justice and we're not doing our mate justice.
Right.
So because we're in something and we're settling, which means that they're giving a part of themselves, we're giving a part of ourselves, and nobody is 100% committed to the marriage. So therefore, how can you be happy if your commitment is not to the marriage or even to the other person, right?
That's right.
So how do we either help that, change that, or prevent that?
Let's see, how can we do that, baby?
So, what?
I said, how can we do that?
Are we just asking questions? Or
No. I'm just saying. I'm just thinking. Yeah. How can we do that?
How can we do that? How can people? We've already done that.
Yeah.
You and me, we already done that. So how can people do that? I think that when we're looking for a mate.
Yes.
So we're out there, we're prospecting, right?
Yep. Of course, we're prospecting.
But in the process of prospecting, we're also putting on a front that we're not. Right?
Yeah, and we talked about that too.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're pretending
being true to
be,
yourself.
Exactly. But we're pretending to be something that we're not. And it's not that we
in the early stages.
Right. It's not that we're not 100% that. It's just that we're showing the best version of ourselves.
Right. We're putting our best foot forward.
Right?
Right.
So we show the best versions of ourselves and then we wait, a couple of dates in, a year later, and then the person who showed up on that first date is somebody totally different, right?
Right.
People say it all the time. I got married, and who did I marry?
The bottom fall out of it.
Right. Who did I marry? Because I don't even know this person.
Yep.
So in the process, I think in the process of dating, once we're out there and we know that we want to get a mate, that we have to have an idea of what that mate is, who that mate is, what we want in a mate. And you and I always talk about, people setting these standards and these boundaries or this checklist, right?
Yep.
But you have to be the checklist that you're looking at, right?
Oh, see, that's being tough now.
Right.
Now, listen, I have a whole laundry list of things that I need you to be.
Right.
Now, you want me to be some of that laundry list too?
Exactly.
Okay.
I think that's the first key, right?
Yeah.
That's the first key. So if I want somebody who's kind, loving, generous,
put me first,
then I have to be that person that is going to be
kind, loving, put you first.
Exactly. So if we can grasp that first, right?
Yeah.
First thing to grasp is that if I want you to have money, I can't rely on your money,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
I need
to come to the relationship with
some
money.
money, right? If I want to come to the table and I'm hungry, then I would expect you to be hungry, right?
Right.
Okay, same thing. If I want you to come to the table fully fed and clothed, then I need to come to the table fully fed and clothed.
That's right.
And if we understand that what we're looking for is looking for us, then we don't have to worry about picking the wrong one.
That's
right?
true. That's right.
So we also say we attract what we are.
That's right. Like attracts like.
Like attracts like.
That's right.
To a certain extent, right?
Yes.
So opposites attract.
Yes.
And like attracts like.
Right.
So those both play a part, right? So if I am someone who likes a certain type of man, and a certain type of man, a different type of man approaches me, and this is not what I want, why am I even entertaining that?
You shouldn't.
Right?
Right.
So what do you think about that? As far as women, they want a specific type of man. They know in their mind what they want.
They're tired of waiting.
They're tired of waiting.
They're tired of waiting because what they want hasn't shown up. So now, hey.
And so why do you think it hasn't shown up? If we can help people to realize that, okay, first I need to be what I'm seeking, right? I can't.
And that's part of the problem.
Right.
You're not being what you're seeking. You're trying to be yourself, which is not what you're actually seeking. Saying, I want all of these listed items, but I'm none of these items.
And then when you attract something that's more like you don't want it.
Right.
Or you entertain it, then you complain about what you wish it was.
Right.
When you have the choice up front to say, no, that's not what I want, right?
I don't think people like to have failed relationships or just things not work out. So they'll tend to put more time and effort in things that aren't really going anywhere.
Or I think it's like a buffet. It's like a buffet, right? So you have a buffet of items, and what you pick, you take it back to the table, you eat it, and you go, this is not good.
Right.
But you knew that you had a choice up front. You chose that. So is it the person's fault that you chose them and continue to indulge in it?
No, it's your fault.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
but you can complain about how they weren't attentive and didn't do this and they didn't do that. But yet you stayed and ate the whole entire meal. And you knew from the very first bite that you didn't like it.
So you complained through the whole meal, but yet and still you decided to stay with it. So another thing is, I think that what helps us to prevent the wrong relationships is, one, knowing the type of relationship that we want. If we want a certain type of relationship, we have to be that.
Yes.
And we have to recognize it, right?
Yes.
So people have to recognize what it is they want and not settle up front if it's not that.
Right. Because if it's not, it's not.
If it's not, it's not. It's not going to change.
And it's okay. And it's okay for it not to be okay. So if you're in something and you date someone and you go like, I don't like this about this and I don't like the way this relationship feels, it's okay to say, you know what, we're not compatible. We're not compatible.
Stop forcing things.
Right.
So it's sort of like that.
Because you're not going to change the person.
It's sort of like saying you're trying to put a round peg in a square hole.
Yep.
Whatever. Right. So the same thing is squares go with squares and circles go with circles, right?
That's right.
So if you're a circle, stop trying to mate with a square, because in the end result is going to be unhappiness.
Yep.
It's okay to say, you know what, this is not the one.
Yeah.
Try it out. If it doesn't work, it's okay. It's okay.
And it's nobody's fault if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, just say, hey.
It just means that you were a circle and you were a square.
Right. And you are incompatible, and it's okay.
It is what it is.
And so we have to be comfortable with that. The problem is we're not comfortable with being honest and saying that this is just not going to work out. And, there's nothing wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with me.
Absolutely.
But together, we just don't work.
It's just not meant to be.
It doesn't make any sense to stay here, take a first bite of the meal. You don't like the way it tastes, and it does not make you feel good, and go along for 9-10 years, and then say, you know
That's
what?
a long time.
Right. And he's like, you know what? I really don't like you, and I don't
like you're crazy, right?
Right. I never liked it, and I just kind of put up with it.
Exactly. And the point is, I was this crazy in the beginning.
Right.
Right.
Right. And I knew that, and I was like, this thing is a little too tart for me. I don't really like the texture of it, but I'm going to continually eat it. Right.
So lots of times we hear people say things are complicated. Right.
Yeah.
So what is complicated about knowing what you want, attracting what you want, being the resemblance of what you're looking for, being the equivalent.
That's the complicated part right there.
Well, there we go.
Well, there it is. In a nutshell,
right there,
that's
right?
it.
Yeah, that could be it. That could be it. The complicated part is that we're looking for something, again, to make us complete, to complete us. This is what we think we want, but we're not that.
That's
right?
what we were told.
So I can't expect Jason to be loving if I'm not a loving. Right? You know, I used to tell my kids, you can't have friends if you're not friendly.
No, you can't.
So you can't have love
if you're not loving.
If you're not loving. You cannot have happiness
if you're not happy.
If you're not happy with yourself.
Ooh, see, you said something right there. You tell me I want to have a happy relationship, but I'm not even a happy person when we're not even dealing with relationship stuff.
And then people make the excuses, well, this is just how I am. Well, if that's how you are, then you find somebody who's like that, who wants somebody like that, and you be with that person.
Right. And y'all just have an unhappy relationship.
We're not saying that it's wrong.
Nope.
You know, and
if you're not willing to change and that's what you really want, then that's what you're going to get.
And the thing is, right now, there's so much information out there. There's so much information on self-love. There's so much talk about self-love.
Yep.
And we all know that in order for you to love me, right, Jason, in order for you to love me, I have to love myself. If I don't love myself, how can I expect you to love me? How can I expect you to show me something that I'm not demonstrating to myself? And then when you show me the same thing I'm showing myself, then I want to get upset, right?
Right.
So that's what we do. That's what we do. How crazy is that? But we don't even see the craziness in it. We don't even see the cycle. We don't even see the fact that I'm not loving myself. I'm not putting myself first.
And that's part of the problem. We don't even love ourselves. So we end up saying, I don't know how to express love because I don't love myself. I don't even know how to deal with you when you're coming at me with all this love and showing me affection and all this other stuff if I'm not affectionate myself.
That's true. Some people can't.
I may rebel against that affection. But
I've heard that too, right?
But what's strange is I rebel against it, but I really want it.
Right.
But when it shows up, I don't know how to act.
Right. So I know for certain, like, as women, we want to be nurtured, right? We want to feel that need of security.
Right.
So when we're that, again, trying to put down the armor and yet still be the woman.
Right.
So we want to be strong and secure, and we want to, come to the relationship saying, hey, I can stay on my own. I got my own thing, I can come to this relationship and bring it. But then we want a man to be a man and show us love, but then we don't know how to accept the love. We're not soft and gentle. How can we have it both ways? How can we learn, or is it that not how, but we must? We must learn how to be the strong woman when we need to be the strong woman.
Right. And we need to let you be that strong woman and not feel threatened when you being strong.
Absolutely. Yep. And then we need to be able to accept love and reciprocate it the same way.
Yep.
Right? So we have to be soft enough and gentle enough or loving enough to say, hey, you know what? I'm vulnerable right now. Let me let you love me. Right? So we have to be able to, if not express it or say it, at least show it. Right?
Yeah, we do.
The unspoken words.
Yep.
So when we're picking a mate, we have to make sure that we are in the understanding of, where am I at in my life? What am I giving out? Am I complicated? Am I the one who's mucking up the relationship that's making it complicated? Right? Yeah. So if you keep going from relationship to relationship to relationship, and you're saying to yourself, wow, he was a good man, but it just didn't work. Oh, he was a good man, but it didn't. Or she was a good woman and it didn't work. And she was a good woman, but it didn't work. And the only common denominator in each of these mucky relationships is that you keep bringing your rain boots. Like, we need to look at that.
You keep bringing your rain boots because you know that you're about to bring some crap to the relationship.
Some mucky.
That's right. You're getting ready to go play in the mud. That's exactly what you're going to do.
And we're not.
And it doesn't matter because each relationship is still muddy. No, everywhere you go, it's still muddy because, one, you're already expecting that outcome in that relationship, and then it shows up. You can take the best intentions from someone else, and you bring that attitude, you're going to end up with the same type of relationship. That's why self-help, self-work is so important. Until you fix you, you can't have a strong relationship. You can't have the relationship of your dreams if you're not being everything that you want on that list.
First of all, forget the dreams. That's the problem, right? That's the problem. We're dreaming that a relationship is something. It's a dream. No, it's not. It's reality.
It is reality.
And we said it takes work.
Yep.
And it takes less work when it's right instead of more work when it's wrong. Right?
Yeah, you can't outwork a bad relationship. It is tough.
So, we say, oh, the first 2 years were fantastic.
Yep.
Well, they were fantastic because you couldn't be who you really were, or you were putting up with it because of this is who I chose, so now I'm going to stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So understanding that the first step in a good relationship is picking the person who is right for you. It's okay. It is okay to pick someone, throw them back in and try again, right? So you go to the grocery store, you want an orange or an apple, you pick it up, you look at it, this is not the one. You put it back in, right? You pick another one. And it's okay to keep picking, even during COVID.
But he showed up.
Right.
So he's here. So this is a gift from God, right? I mean, like he's here. He's checking off, one or two of the boxes.
And then we're wondering why, 6 months we're arguing.
Yep.
So another thing I always say, like, if you're having difficulty in the very beginning of your relationship, the get to know you phase? The get to know you phase. The get to know you phase. So, anything under a year. Yeah. And you guys can say whatever you want to say, but if you are having difficulty in the first year of your relationship, that's you need to ask yourself, is this really the relationship for me? Right?
True.
Is this the one that I'm supposed to be in, that's made and designed for me and only me? Because,
if you ask yourself that question
and be honest
prepared
about it.
for the real answer, not trying to get the answer, be like,
she's cute, she has a good job, she has a good head on her shoulder, or she's,
she has potential.
He's not, he doesn't have to be too smart or too successful, or, I don't know. What are we looking for? Because, not everyone is looking for that handsome, rich guy.
No, but everyone wants to be loved and wants to be in a loving relationship.
Right. So, are we putting love first when we show up? When I'm showing up, am I showing love? Am I demonstrating love? Is it genuine? Right? Is it genuine? Because I tell people, you can feel it. Like you can feel.
It's that it. You know it.
And even if they don't know it, you know it within yourself when you're being phony. Right. When you have to try so hard to be something that you're not, then that's an indication. We have to pay attention to our intuition. We have to pay attention to the signs that we are just like turning our head from, right? There are signs there.
Yeah.
There are signs. So people say, well, what does it take to have a happy relationship? Well, what does it take to have a happy relationship?
You being happy.
You being happy.
Period.
Happy with who you are.
Yeah.
And happy with the choice that you made, knowing that, yes, there may be somebody prettier. Yes, there may be somebody skinnier. Yes, there may be somebody fatter. Yes, there may be somebody taller or shorter or louder or quieter. But the person that you chose is that person, because that is the person that is the circle that goes with the circle. That's the hole that the circle fits in.
Yep.
And if it's not, it's okay to move on.
And that's what we have to understand. It's okay when you're not compatible. It's not a failed relationship or something's wrong with that person or something wrong with you. No. It's just
as I always say,
you're not compatible.
Right, because you dated before me, right?
Yes.
And I dated before you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't we marry those people?
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we knew within ourselves, right?
Yeah, that wasn't going to work.
This is not the person.
Nope.
This is not the person.
Nah.
And even before you and I decided to jump the broom, we had maybe this is the person. Oh, he has good qualities, or she has good qualities.
Yep.
But, we had to make sure that this is the person that if I choose this person, then I'm in it. I'm in it. Like, I know
For the
that
long
this is,
haul,
for the,
right.
and I know that it's a choice. I choose to marry you because, not because I have to, but because I know that if I want a loving relationship, I'm going to have to be that loving person. I can't expect, I mean, that's just like saying you want your car to run and not giving any gas to it, right?
Hey, look, some people have done that. You
Yeah,
run out of
yeah,
gas,
you
it's
know-
like, I don't know why my car stopped.
Exactly. So we ran out of love, but I can't understand why he stopped loving me. Well, when was the last time you gave some love?
That's right.
So, and then we look at it and saying, I'm tired of being the one that's always giving. Well, when you're looking at somebody else and you're outside of yourself, how do you know you're the person giving it? You're so busy looking at the other person and what they're giving you that you're not even paying attention to what you're doing.
Right. They're trying to give you something, but you're like, I don't want that right now. Or I don't want it.
Or I
So
don't want it
you're
like
not
that.
right.
Right.
Yep. So, yeah. So you have to be able to know exactly what you want. And that's where majority of the problems start in the very beginning. You don't know what you want for you.
Or you do know, but you
Or you don't know how to
or you
express
push
it.
back, or you push it back, right?
Right.
So you know what you want, but you're willing to settle in the beginning, thinking that it's going to change in the end.
Eventually, he's going to give me what I want, but
Or he's going to be what I want.
Right.
Or she's going to be what I want.
right.
Right? So you're getting to this relationship. It was okay. And one day turned to another, and we just kind of grew on each other.
And that happens.
It does.
There's a lot of relationships like that.
But the thing is, in those relationships, are you happy? And now you're stuck being unhappy, and your unhappiness is mucking up the relationship.
Yeah, which
So now-
started in the very beginning.
What we overlook.
Yep.
It's okay to be okay with the fact that this relationship didn't work. Now, in marriage, you're married now, right?
Yeah.
And if you happen to have chosen
Mm-hmm.
a mate that right now things are mucky,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm. It happens.
How do we change that? One, it's okay. It's okay if this is not the person. We are not supporting divorce,
Mm-hmm.
right?
We're not advocating it at all,
We're
but
advocating happiness, and we're advocating good relationships.
Right.
If we're going to make it work, right? If we're going to make this relationship work and this marriage work, what do I need to do? Not you, me.
right.
What do I need to do to make this relationship work? Right? That's what we have
And
to
it's
ask
all
ourselves.
about you, not about your mate. It's about you.
When I took my eye off of Jason, and I realized that a lot of the things that I could change, what could I have done different? What can I do different? It's a choice when something that he does irritates me, right? It's a choice whether to let it irritate me.
I do something. Wait a minute. Hold up. You told me that I was loving and all this other stuff. Now you tell me I irritate you?
Huh?
I don't irritate you, right?
So, as I was saying, when Jason does something
Right.
that could irritate me,
Could.
that could irritate me,
Mm-hmm.
it's my choice to either see it
Mm-hmm.
in a loving way
Yep.
and not reciprocate what I thought he was giving me.
Please don't.
But it's my choice to say, what am I going to do?
So
Am I going to be loving? Am I going to see it in a different way? Am I going to ask myself, what can I do to escalate it? Or what can I do so that it doesn't occur again? What am I doing that I'm not seeing?
So you're
Right.
telling me that you're choosing to be happy.
Of course I am.
So again,
Are you
you're
choosing to make me unhappy?
No, not at all. Because I could, but no, I don't choose to do that.
So you could do that.
Right. And why would I want to do that? Because I want to be happy.
So do you think that making me happy makes you happy?
Yes.
So what happens when I'm not happy?
Nobody's happy.
Wrong answer. Wrong answer.
If you're not happy, I'm not happy. We're not happy.
That's the wrong answer.
Oh, I should make you happy?
No.
Well, what is it, baby?
You should ask yourself, what can you do?
Oh, yeah, that's-
that make the situation.
You know what? That's what it is. I need to ask myself, what do I need to do? And how should I look at this situation?
Before I react, let me think about the choices so if I choose A, then this happens. If I choose B, this happens. You know, people sit down and say, well, I'm not sure what I need to do. You should give that same thought into your relationship, right?
You should.
So when we're talking about jobs or money or buying a new car or whatever, right? The dress that you want to wear, we stop and we think about the choices that we make. We literally make a conscious decision as to what we're going to get. Oh, I like this, but I like this better. Oh, this has this, but this, buying a house, right?
Yeah.
So we never get a house that has all the qualities that we want.
Nope. I looked.
Okay?
I looked and looked and looked.
But it's the choice when you end up picking the one that you pick.
Yes.
It's a choice. You can either complain about it for the rest of your life, or you can choose something else, right? So I can sit back and complain about the fact that, you know, you do this, you do that, you do the other. I may not like those things, but if I change my perspective and how I see them and try to understand why it bothers me, maybe the issue isn't you, maybe the issue's me. Maybe the issue is what I have with myself and seeing what it is that you do.
It's possible.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about settling, it's not just, I'm not happy, I'm not going to settle, I'm out of here.
Yeah, no.
Right? It's about understanding why you settled. And if you want to continue the relationship, what must you do? So I know that in order to fix a relationship, it takes two people.
Exactly, because there's two people in the relationship.
Two people, and what I mean by that is that if you're both married and it's unhappy, then there's a chance, right? But if one person is like 100% sure they don't want it, don't force it, because now you're making the situation uncomfortable. You're making it.
You aggravating that person, your mate, and yourself.
Or what benefit is it, right? So that person is unhappy for being in the marriage, and you're unhappy for being in the marriage.
You
so
know,
how is the marriage?
I got married forever, so I don't want my marriage to end. So I'll stay.
So it's a choice.
It's a choice. And it's my choice.
That's what people say, right?
Yes.
It's my choice.
Yeah.
So we have to understand, if we make the choice to stay in it, if both people want to make the choice to stay in it, after we have realized that maybe this wasn't the person we should have chosen. You know, we're looking at other people's relationship and we're saying, well, how come my husband isn't more like that? Or how come my wife isn't more like that? Well, maybe because the person they're married to isn't like the other person's spouse.
There you go.
Right?
The other person is not like you.
And then we have to check our background. You know, what am I doing to show my mate that I want the love? What am I doing to express to them that I enjoy this or I don't enjoy that? Or what am I doing to self-help and self-love myself so that I can raise my level of vibration so that I can receive the love that I want?
Now you're hitting me with some hard stuff here.
Hard stuff. If we want good relationships, if we want happy relationships, if we want our relationships to work, it's sort of like, you know, we got to put in the work, I guess. The key word is the work. And whether that's working together or working individually.
That's both. You have to do both.
You do.
You have to work on yourself for sure. That's the first thing.
First thing.
Then you work on it together.
So how can I want you to change, you to change, you to change? Everything is you, but I'm not working on me. Right? So you're going to come back new and spanky and all ready to go, and I'm still the same old crap. Yep. How does that work?
Right. Now I'm not happy because I'm giving you everything that you wanted, and I changed, and tried to be the better person. Right.
And now you're like, wait a minute, I don't understand what's going on.
Well, you have to reciprocate this. Come on.
Yeah. So we have to be that driving force, that vehicle within our relationships that's going to be that change. We have to be that change first. We have to understand what it is within ourselves that, one, we don't like. Two, that we need to change, and what am I putting out that I'm getting back? If you're getting back what you don't like, maybe you're putting that out.
That's exactly what's happening. You're putting it out there.
And then some people say, well, I just love and love and love and love, and I just give it. Yeah, well, sometimes you might want to look at that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, how are you giving the love?
Maybe there's strings attached to that love.
Or the thing is that you can be giving the love, but are you giving it genuinely, and are you loving yourself in the process? If you're giving everything to somebody else,
but you resent it as you're doing it, that could be a problem.
And then what are you showing that person to give you back? It's nothing wrong with giving. There's nothing wrong with loving. That's what we're supposed to do, right?
That's right.
That's what makes the world go round, so they say.
Yep.
Right? Give and you shall receive. The problem is, why are we okay with giving and then upset with the fact that we don't receive because we're not in the receiving way? So if this is the give line and this is the receive line and you're never in the receive line, how do you expect to receive it?
Listen,
And
if
then
you're not in the right line,
right. You want to complain. I'm always the giver. I'm always giving, or I'm always the giver. I'm always giving everything and I don't ever get anything in return. Well, what are you showing the other person to tell them, hey, look, I love giving, but I also want to receive.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Self-love. Again,
and we can't say that enough. I mean, self-love. If you can't work on yourself, if you can't love yourself, you can't
see where
understand
you need to
where
change.
you need to. You know what you like. You know what you want. If you don't, then work on it.
And
Find out what you
know
want.
your flaws, right?
And you know your flaws better than anyone. And the funny thing is, people always get upset when they get called on their flaws. When someone brings it to their attention, then they want to get all huffy puffy about the little situation.
Or somebody tells you about yourself, and then you want to turn around and then talk about them. Right. It's not about me. It's about you.
They're just trying to tell you that you got a little situation.
That
and that's okay to have a situation. No one's perfect.
So maybe we should have a conversation going like this. Hey, I have things I need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
If you could point out one, what would it be?
Oh, yeah. See, you just diffuse the whole situation. I don't mind telling you that, you know what? When I want to talk to you or tell you something, just sit back and listen and don't be so, maybe give me all your opinions at one time. I would appreciate it. Let me get through the sentence.
Right?
Strictly hypothetical.
Right. And then when he asks me, then I give him something. I'm not trying to hurt his feelings. I'm not trying to beat him down in the dirt. No. But I am trying to make him aware of something that may not be beneficial to his qualities. Right? I'm trying to help him help himself. I'm not trying to change him.
Right.
If he's asking my opinion, then I'm going to give him the thing that I see that may be flawing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to sit him and tell him, you're this, you're that, you're the other. Who am I to judge who he is?
You can't even get to the good part because you're just laying in the negative, right? So you haven't even got to the good traits yet. And they teach you that in management. Hit them with all the good stuff first before you tell them that if you do that again, we're going to let you go.
Right.
You're a good worker and all this other stuff, right?
As the teacher say, right, you put the paper together well.
Yep.
It was well written, but then that but is coming.
And here it comes. Yep.
And we have to be open to criticism.
Yeah. It's
right. Forget the fact that they say, what is that? How do they call criticism?
Constructive criticism.
Forget. Just take that word out of it.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, we're doing it out of love, right?
We have to be open to criticism, and that means criticizing ourselves and telling us when we're in the wrong. I need to take my focus off of Jason because if my eye is always on him, how can I possibly help myself?
You can't.
Right? And only thing I'm going to do is make the relationship worse. I'm not going to get more of what I want. I'm going to get more of what I'm giving.
And if I'm not giving, wherever you concentrate is what you're going to bring more of.
And if I'm giving hate, and if I'm giving criticism, and if that's the only thing I'm giving,
and that's the only thing you're going to see.
That's the only thing I'm going to give back.
Yeah,
right?
That's the only thing you're going to see. Regardless, I could bring you all the flowers that you want, but you're not going to see that.
And I know that as parents, sometimes, me too, right? You grow up and you tell your kids something in hopes that they're going to be better in it.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you keep doing that? All it does is make you this. So you learn to criticize in the form of wanting to help.
Right.
But it doesn't always help, right?
No.
It gives people
an emotional scar.
Or they feel some type of way.
Yep.
So if I'm constantly tearing him down about the things that I don't like, how can he ever know about the things that I do like about him? If everything about you is wrong, why am I even with you?
Yeah.
Right? If the only thing I have to say about you is in the negative sense, what does that say about me? Why are we even together if I have nothing positive to say about you? Right?
Because that's where we focus. We focus more on the negative because we figure this is how I'm going to get you to change. I'm going to tell you all the things that I don't like, and what irritates me. And if we can get all that fixed, then
and if you can change.
Right. If you can change, we can have a good relationship. So I'm going to always harp on the negative so you can change all that so we can have a good relationship. Which, there's a whole slew of things that I love about you, but we're not going to talk about those.
Or the fact that there's a whole bunch of things about me that are negative, but I'm not going to talk about that either, right? So I'm just gonna talk about your negatives, expect you to change, and it's okay for me to keep mine, and for me to be that way, not work on anything, and expect the relationship is going to work.
So you're telling me if I changed all of my negative traits to something a little bit more positive based on what you see.
Because I said so.
Because you said so. These are the things that was wrong. You want a strong relationship. And I'm going on this personal journey, and I'm making all these different changes and stuff, right? And I do that. Now, what about you? What happens then? What happens after I make that change and you don't? Does the relationship get any better?
I don't know. Does it? I
don't think so. I think there's always going to be something. If I made all of those changes, I don't think that would be good enough. There's always going to be something that I need to change. I don't think that anyone could just make all those changes and then everything will be fine. Because then they're going to come up with a new set of rules.
So you're saying when a person tells you all the things you need to change about yourself,
right,
and you do them, you make all those changes and they make no changes,
yep,
relationship is still going to have problems.
Of course.
Why do you think the relationship is going to have problems?
Because they're never going to be satisfied. You're going to always have flaws. I mean, first of all, perfect, right?
Right.
So we're imperfect. So if we're imperfect, we're going to have flaws. So you'll find a new set of flaws.
We're imperfect in the human sense.
Right.
Perfect in spirit.
Right. So if I made all those changes, it's not going to make everything better. But the cool thing about being in a relationship is loving your flaws.
That's true.
So it's okay. If I made all those changes, it wouldn't make a difference. It would make a difference in a sense, but it really wouldn't make a total difference because you would find new flaws to point out to me. So
continually trying to change you, right? Trying to change, but then it's not going to be good or healthy because now you're becoming something that you're not.
Exactly.
So if that was you in the beginning, why am I changing you? Why are we trying to change people when they came to the relationship that way?
Yeah.
Right.
So we go back to that.
He came to the relationship irritating.
That's right. So that's right.
Thinking he was a comedian.
So that's right. So we go back to that very first date and that very first meal when you took a bite of it and you go, man, this thing is kind of bitter.
Yep. And I knew then I should have put
you
back on the smorgasbord.
You're sitting over there chomping on it going, I really don't like this, but I'm going to go ahead and eat it anyway.
So to say all of that, if we want relationships to work, one, they don't have to be complicated.
Nope.
If they are complicated, ask yourself, what am I doing that is contributing to
the complication? Because you're complicated. You're mucking it up.
And then two, if my relationships aren't working, if you're the person that says, wow, I keep attracting the same type of person.
It's you.
So that's an indication that some self-help needs to go on somewhere.
Yeah.
And there, as I said before, if you are not self-helping, self-loving, and self-developing, then you must not be living in this world. Because everywhere you turn, it's about self-love. Self-love, because that is where it all starts. If I can learn to love my flaws, right? So I want you to change your flaws, but I want to, so we have to understand, we have to learn we have to love the flaws.
Yes.
Your flaws about you is who you are.
It makes who I am.
Right. Whatever it is, whether from the childhood. Now, we can help them. We can help people to recognize them and, work on them. But we don't need people. We don't need to try to change people. We don't need to
make somebody make them perfect because no one's perfect.
Or stop trying to change who the person is.
Right.
I am who I am, and that's who I'm going to be. And the more you love that quality about me, whoever I am, the better our relationship is going to be. Yep. Don't try to change me into something else. Okay, I'm loud. Don't try to make me quiet. Okay, I'm quiet.
Especially if you were loud on that first date. If you were loud on that first date,
No, some people see. That's why that's as you said. Don't come as an imposter on that first date. So and that's another thing. If you're showing up as somebody else, how can you expect to pick the right person? How can you expect to get the one that's supposed to be for you, or the one that that circle with that circle? If you're showing up as a square and you know you a circle, right? You already know you a circle. You sitting at this table with the square, looking over at the other circle. Tomorrow I should be over there. Then show up as yourself. Show up as yourself. Be authentic to you. So, so we had a little interruption. Yeah. But that's what happens when we're on video, right? See,
and audio too.
Right, no, when we're audio, we can cut that out. So now we're on video. So, but let's keep going. But we have to understand if we're going to pick the right person, it's okay to know that that's not the right person the first time, or the second time, or the third time.
And that's the key. Pick the right person, the person for you. Don't force the issue with the first person that shows up.
Yeah.
Because you haven't been in a relationship in a while, and he comes around and now he's nice or she's nice or whatever, and you go, yeah, we can make a relationship out of that. Pick the right person for you. When you take the first bite of that meal, if it does not do you justice, maybe that's not the meal for you.
Throw it back in.
Yep.
Go throw
because
it in
the right person is out there waiting for you. You guys just haven't met yet.
Or maybe you haven't changed yet.
Ooh.
Maybe you're getting what you need to get so that you can understand, why am I keep getting this, and why do I keep picking this? Why do I keep choosing this? And what do I need to do to get that what I want?
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. Right? So if I know that I want this man over here to be loving to me, I can't beat him at night.
No, you better show me some love, girl.
So
you show me some love, I'll give you some love.
So we have to understand that relationships are work, right?
Yes.
They are work. We're not saying they're not work. What we're saying is that they don't have to be complicated.
No.
And
stop saying that.
Yes. And if they're complicated in the first year, look somewhere else. Listen, it's okay.
You guys aren't compatible. This is not the relationship for you.
Right. It's okay. It's okay to say, this is not the one.
Yes.
Yeah, we thought it was. Hey, you're perfectly perfect in who you are. I'm perfectly perfect in who I am. Hey, better luck to the next person. Maybe that's, maybe it'll work. Maybe you're more compatible. And it's okay, because you can't get to the one you need to be to if you're holding on to something that you're not.
Right.
Right? So understanding that, self-love, and just, if you're in a relationship and it's not working. And right now, as we said it before, with the pandemic, people are starting to really, see who they're married to, right?
Oh, yeah. You've spent a whole year together.
How much time? It's over a year.
Yeah.
How much time can we spend together without really killing each other, right? Right. So if you're in that relationship, but there's still love there, but nobody knows how to get to it, right? You want to get the love back in your relationship. Start being loving. Start being loving, and just change you. Forget about trying to change your mate.
Because you can. Change yourself.
Exactly.
Become the better version of yourself.
Show up in you as who you will want for you.
And I know we said this before, but we can't say it enough. And when you change you change your relationship. When you change your mindset, you change your relationship.
Change
you
your
change
perspective.
your life.
Exactly. So it's not what he does to me, but how I perceive it,
how
I
you
receive it, and how I react.
Yes.
Right. So I can make a situation better, or I can make a situation worse, or I can choose. Again, it's a choice. I can choose to understand why he reacts the way he acts, or why he does what he does. And then when I understand him, I can understand me. I can understand the relationship. I can just make everything a whole lot better.
So,
right? We don't have to get upset over everything.
Everything isn't designed to be upset over. Upset over. Sorry.
So working on our relationships is just that. We have to take the time to work on it, but also recognize the things that we're doing wrong in relationships. So for the people out there in relationships that aren't married yet, right? So we all think we want to get married, and we're going to pick, we get to a certain age and we're just going to pick the first person that somewhat fits into the whole, right?
Right.
And then we're wondering, oh, we're getting married. And then you're wondering why you're not happy, because happy is a choice. Happy is not just happening. Nope. Right? happy is a choice. You
have to choose.
You have to choose. So if you're not married, you choose that up front.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the relationship that I'm going to pick? And if I am, I'm going to give it all that I can, but I have to understand what I need to do to make myself happy. It's not your mate's job to make you happy. It's your job to understand what it is that makes you happy, make sure it's happening in your life, and to do what needs to be done. What do you say?
It's not your mate's job to make you happy. You have to make you happy. And when you make you happy, everything else is happy. But no one on the outside can make you happy.
It's a choice. It's a choice.
And that's what we mean about choices. So
right?
You choose to be happy.
I'm going to throw this out there. I'm just going to throw this out there.
Okay.
Like that plate.
Oh, not that plate.
As my sister-in-law says, they better not mention that darn plate again. So it's like the plate. And so for you all who don't know the plate, that means that you're not listening to our podcast. But when I see the plate, it's a choice.
Yeah, you don't need to be getting upset about the plate, baby.
I don't need to get
right.
Because I understand it's a mental block. And
yeah.
It's okay for me to make you aware of it.
Right.
But I don't. But if I get upset with it, it doesn't help the situation, right?
It sure doesn't.
It's not going to make you remember anymore. Because I've tried that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So happiness is a choice. Change from within to change without. So.
It's a choice. I've seen you make that choice too.
Well, thank you. So.
You've done a good job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we don't only just talk about this stuff, we live it, right? We're not telling you something that we haven't done or we haven't gone through.
Or we don't know.
We've gone through it.
Right? Because somebody, I'm not going to name any names.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody used to be really spicy. Like, I don't know. I think it was part of her upbringing. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Just spicy. Like, just get upset over, like, little things.
Yeah.
And it's not that, I don't know. Maybe people see how they want things to be and they get upset.
Mm-hmm.
But asking yourself, wow, what can I do differently, right?
Yep.
Not saying that person doesn't get upset, because that person gets upset, but they're trying to understand why they get upset and that it's a choice of getting upset.
Yeah, you're trying to make better choices.
Better choices for me.
Right.
For me, right?
Right.
Because when I'm a little bit more loving, isn't it easier to love me?
Of course it is.
Right.
It's easier to love someone that's lovable, right? It's harder.
So if I'm all harsh and abrasive, how is he going to love me?
Hey, that come, baby.
You don't get all scratched up.
Yeah.
Right?
So
it's a choice. It's a choice. And in the relationships that we're in, we have to start understanding that it's our choice. The relationship we chose to get in this relationship. This is what we chose. If this is what you want and your mate wants, then you have to start making the choices that's going to make it better, make you happier, and understand that the choices start with you. It's not your mate. Stop looking to the other person.
That's right. And you know what? What's the takeaways from this? The main takeaway from this whole thing is be true to yourself. Be in the relationship that you need to be in to better you. Just don't be in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship.
I'm in a relationship.
Right.
Right?
You
True.
have to be in control of your life.
And then in the same sense of that is that sometimes we are not in relationships because we're like, well, I haven't found anybody who's this, and this.
Right.
You know, and so
neither are you.
Exactly. Exactly. Because if we were those things, we can only attract those things to us.
There you go. So again,
you know,
another
people
takeaway.
say, how did you get so lucky? It's not luck. I am what I am attracting.
That's right.
Whether it's crazy, right?
Or loving.
Or loving, or abrasive,
Right.
or snappy,
True.
or spicy,
It's
or
you.
calm,
Right.
right?
And it's okay to mix it up as you get older, or I mean, not get older, but as you move through your relationship and your relationship matures, you're going to change and you evolve.
And we have to adapt, right? That's the whole thing. We definitely need to change.
Yes.
We definitely need to change.
We need to change throughout our relationship, from the very first time throughout the whole entire thing.
And sometimes we do self-love and self-help, and we think we've gotten to this point where, you know, I need to be XYZ. I need him or her to be XYZ.
Yeah.
Otherwise, don't bring it to the table. Well, the thing is that you will get that XYZ if you're actually XYZ.
Yeah.
And we're missing that. We're missing that. It's okay. Definitely self-love, positive. Self-development, positive, right?
Yes.
We are putting ourselves first, positive.
Yes.
But we also need to understand that if we're seeking a mate, if we are seeking a mate, that means that there's still something in us that wants that mate.
Yep.
And that we cannot, if we're not seeing it and we're not finding it and it's not seeking us, then we're not all together as we thought we were.
That's true.
Right?
That's right.
Because when you are, and you don't have to sacrifice anything. You don't have
We
to
didn't say
give up anything.
we didn't mention anything about sacrificing nothing.
None.
Nothing.
Right? So if
This ain't
you're-
about sacrifice. It's not about settling. It's all about you.
It's all about you. When you are at that pinnacle, ready for the relationship that's going to make a difference, that's going to make you happy, that you don't have to sacrifice, that you don't have to put yourself third, fourth, or fifth. When you are at that place of, you know, and some of us, we're happy. Not all of us need relationships. Some of us don't, right?
Right.
Some of us don't, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's fine. And that's fine.
That is 100%.
You worked on yourself. You know what you want.
and you're happy with that.
And that's your life. And that's
Exactly.
fine.
Some people have done the relationship thing, done it, been there. Okay, I'm going to pause, right? But for those of us who either want one and feel like we want to have a happy one,
Yes.
then we have to understand when we are ready, when we are truly at the place where that relationship that we have a vision of, I wouldn't say dream, when we have a vision of,
Right.
that relationship will manifest itself
It sure
because
will.
that is who you are, what you've prepared for, and what you are ready to receive. You will not get what you are not ready for, point blank.
So you telling me if I'm not ready for a good relationship, I'm not going to get it?
Absolutely not.
But I may get a relationship?
You may get a relationship, but it's not going to be the one you envision because you're not at the place where your vision and who you are meeting up.
So what we need to do again, another takeaway, is get ready.
Get ready.
Get yourself ready for the relationship that you want.
You know, it's sort of like that story that I heard. I'm pretty sure my minister told it, you know, when people, you want rain, right? The Indians are dancing for rain. You want rain, but nobody's walking around with an umbrella. Right? So if you want rain and you expect rain, but you're walking around with no umbrella, then you're really not expecting rain.
Nope.
Right? You're hoping and wishing for it, but you are not expecting it.
You're
And
not prepared for it.
You're not prepared for it. So if it were to come, you'll be SOL, right?
Yep.
So if you're not ready for what you are, what you want, it will come and walk on past you, and you will never know it was for you.
And that has happened, trust me, more times than not.
To people, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But when
Because
you
if you're not ready for it, you don't see it anyway. It could be
Don't
right
see
in front of you.
right in front of you, you don't see it because you are not in the place to receive it yet.
Right.
You know, it's sort of like if you're not ready for this, it's sort of like a blessing. I've heard people say, you know, God works through us, right?
Yep.
And if we're not ready to do the work that God has given us, He will just move right on to the next person.
Yep.
You ever had a vision or a dream and you thought of something and the next
And
thing
you
know,
didn't move on it.
and you didn't move on it. Next thing you know, you see it manifest someplace else.
And somebody else think like that.
Same thing with a
That was
relationship.
my idea.
Same thing with a relationship. When you are not ready, it will not happen. It will walk right on past you, and you're sitting here moaning and griping about the relationship that you want and you can't seem to find because you are not ready. You haven't done the work for the relationship. You haven't made yourself proven. What is it? Approved? How does that saying go?
But self-approve or?
So you guys know what it is. Whatever. So I can't think of it right now. But so if you are wanting that relationship
Yep.
and you don't have it, or you have a relationship and it's not what you want,
Work on you.
work on you and work on the relationship and understand that you have to be what you want.
And the ones that's dating or in relationship, if things you don't see eye to eye, both people aren't working, you deserve to be happy.
When he says it's not working, he means it's not working out.
It's not working out.
Not a job working.
Right. No.
Right?
The relationship is not working.
That means this is not the person you're supposed to be with, and it's okay.
Right.
Don't force
Stop
it.
forcing the issue.
Stop forcing it. That means that person's going to find who they need to be with, and you're going to find who you need to be with, and it's okay.
It's okay.
What you don't like, somebody may love.
Exactly.
So it just means that it wasn't for you.
That's right. It's okay.
So if someone's craziness doesn't,
Excite you anymore?
or rubs you the wrong way, that's not the crazy you need to be with.
That's true. Find out what's right for you in a relationship. Deep down inside, you know. If you don't,
we know.
or if you don't, you need to work on it and find out. You need to read. You need to study yourself. You need to meditate. You need to do whatever you need to do to find out what you really want.
Work on you.
And that's the thing. Relationships will survive if you work on you, because it's not always the external person. It's you. And I just need you to turn within and look at yourself. Sometimes you just got to get quiet and look at yourself and say, what can I do differently? Or what could I have done differently?
What better choices can I make?
And if you sit back and be honest with yourself.
Right, for me.
For you.
So we're not changing for someone else. You're changing for you. You're being honest with yourself as to what you need to do, what work you need to do. Where are you not perfect, whole, and complete? Because as we said before, relationship is not to complete you, but to complement you.
It's kind of like, you go out and you look at a car and you see this particular car and color. And then after that, that's the only car you see. It's like everywhere you look, you see that car and you see that color. It's amazing. But before then, you didn't see it. Right?
That's true. Because now you have become aware to that.
You fix yourself, you fix your whole entire life. So let's go out there, let's read. Let's be plugged in to more positive things.
Approved. I think that was the same.
What's that?
Right? Find ourselves approved. But okay.
Yep.
All late. I think that's the same, but okay.
Yeah. Oh, is it study yourself?
Yeah.
Study yourself approved.
something.
Yeah.
I can't think of what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever it is, you guys know what it is. And that wraps up another episode of Love and Beyond the I Do.
And as always, we're in it to win it.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Lovin' Beyond the I Do podcast. Head over to iTunes to subscribe and leave a review. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Legendary Relationship, or visit our website at legendaryrelationship.com. Till next time, remember to make every day count.